In the 1860s, the Midland Railway was eager to profit from the growth in rail traffic between England and Scotland and proposed building a line between Settle and Carlisle. The line was intended to join the Midland line between Skipton and Carnforth to the city of Carlisle. On 16th of July 1866, the Midland Railway Settle to Carlisle Act was passed by Parliament, authorising the company to construct railway lines from Settle to Hawes, Appleby and Carlisle in addition to other purposes. The line passed through difficult terrain that necessitated building several substantial structures, and the company's chief engineer, John Sydney Crossley, along with its general manager, Joseph Allport, set about the design and construction of the line that included the Ribblehead Viaduct. On the 6th of November 1869, a contract to construct the Settle Junction to Dent Head that included the Ribblehead Viaduct was initially awarded to contractor John Ashwell. Unfortunately, this was subsequently cancelled in 1871 due to John's financial issues, and responsibility for its construction fell to Midland Railway, who worked on a semi-contractual basis overseen by William Ashwell. The cost of construction was estimated around £343,000 with a completion date of May 1873. The viaduct was built by a workforce of up to 2,300. They lived often with their families in temporary camps named Batty Wifehole, Sebastopol and Belgravia on adjacent land. More than 100 workers lost their lives during building-related accidents, fighting, or from outbreaks of smallpox, and there are around 200 burials of men, women and children in the graveyard at Chapel Adale, where the church has a memorial to those who lost their lives during construction. In 1872, the design for the Ribblehead Viaduct changed from 18 arches to 24. Each spanning 45 feet or 13.7 metres. By August 1874, the arches had been keyed and the last stone was laid by the end of the year. A single track was laid over the viaduct, and on 6th of September 1874, the first passenger train was pulled across by the locomotive Diamond. On the 3rd of August 1875, the viaduct was finally open for freight traffic, and by May 1876, the whole line opened for passenger services. The viaduct's length is approximately 440 yards or 400 metres, which makes it the longest structure on the Settle Carlisle Railway. It is 104 feet or 32 metres above the valley floor at its highest point and has 24 arches, each with a 45-foot span. Their foundations are 25 feet or 7.6 metres deep, and their piers are tapered, roughly 13 feet or 4 metres across at the base and 5 feet 11 inches or 1.8 metres thick near the arches, and have loosely packed rubble-filled cores. Every sixth pier is 50% thicker, mitigating the risk of collapse should any of the piers fail, and the north end of the viaduct is 13 feet or 4 metres higher in elevation than its south end. The viaduct is faced with limestone masonry set in hydraulic lime mortar, and the near semicircular arches are made from red brick. In total, 1.5 million bricks were used, and some of its limestone blocks weigh upwards of 8 tonnes. By 1980, the viaduct was in disrepair, and many of its piers had been weakened by water ingress. Between 1981 and 1984, repairs were carried out at a cost of approximately £100,000. This included the strengthening of the piers by the addition of steel rails and concrete cladding. For safety reasons, the line was reduced to a single track across the viaduct to avoid the simultaneous loading from 2 trains crossing, and a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit was imposed. During 1988, minor repairs were carried out and trial bores were made into several piers, and 10 years later, a waterproof membrane was installed. In the 1980s, British Rail proposed closing the line due to the high cost of repairs, but campaigns by the Friends of the Settle Carlisle line gathered and mobilised public support against the plan. In 1989, the line was saved when Michael Portillo took the decision in his capacity as Minister of State for Transport to keep it open, citing the economical arguments for its closing had been weakened by a spike in passenger numbers and the additional engineering studies had revealed reduced costs of repair. In November 1988, Ribblehead Viaduct was Grade 2 listed, and the surrounding land where the remains of its construction camps are located had been recognised as a scheduled monument. Between 1990 and 1992, Ribblehead Viaduct underwent major restoration, and later, in 1999, a 2-year programme of improvements was implemented involving renewal of track, replacement of ballast and the installation of new drainage, all allowing an increased level of freight traffic, thus assuring the line's continued viability. More recently, major restoration work was started in November 2020 as a £2.1 million project to repoint mortar joints and replace broken stones. The viaduct is not only a remarkable feat of Victorian engineering, but also a symbol of the natural beauty and historic significance of the region it traverses. Its stunning location and architecture continue to make it a popular attraction for those who appreciate both railway history and the scenic landscapes of the Yorkshire Dales.